Power to the truth. This is Margo. This is Wednesday, April the 24th, 2019, 6:33 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. What you're seeing here is a video about the Oroville Dam and the spillway that was reconstructed after it totally failed and collapsed and broke up back on February 7th, 2017. It's been rebuilt. They didn't use it last year in 2018. They tested it out a couple of weeks ago in 2019 and then shut it down, and there's a lot of secrecy around it right now, and I'm trying to find out what I can, and there are only a couple of places on YouTube that are reporting on it, and Juan Brown is tagging those as fake news. So this is not fake news. This is reporting on what's going on, and there's a lot of secrecy around it. The videos that I've seen, it's actually of the webcam that's up there at Orville, and in the daytime there's nobody out there working on it, but at night there's all these lights and people moving around, and it's like, why are they working in the dark? And at midnight on Easter weekend, on Saturday night at midnight or 4 in the morning, and I would think that you'd kind of want to be working in the daytime so that you could see what was wrong with the dam. I would think you could see a lot better in the daytime. But this is an article from the Sacramento Bee that was put out in November 1st of last year, 2018, and says Orville Dam repairs aren't enough, feds warn. Should state be forced to plan for a mega flood? So before I go to Clean View, let's see if there are any other pictures of the dam. Tell you, these ads are just driving me up the wall. I was about to say a bad word. Here's a picture. This is what it looked like after the aftermath. Is that it? Yeah, the wreckage of the main spillway at Orville Dam in February 2017 left tons of concrete and other debris piled up in the Feather River below. The state plans to reopen the rebuilt spillway Tuesday. Now, this was from back last November. It was a mess. It was demolished. It was awful. And so here's this article that refers to this report that the feds did on about the dam, and then I found the report, and I'm not going to do the report today, but I'm going to do this article. I thought I could get to Clean View. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. This is by the Department of Water Resources. But the article is not by them. It's by these two guys at the Sacramento Bee. Orville Dam, watch final section of concrete wall placed on the main spillway. That was the headline under that video that they just played. Kiewit Corporation workers, and they hired this company to build it, to rebuild the spillway. Place the concrete for the final chute wall panel on the main spillway at Orville Dam on Thursday, October 18th, 2018. The wall is next to the gates. The Oroville Dam spillways are being repaired after being damaged February 2017. And Kiewit Corporation work. Okay, I just read that. By Department of Water Resources, federal regulators are raising new concerns about the troubled Orville Dam, telling California officials their recently rebuilt flood control spillways likely couldn't handle a mega flood. Now this is really important considering the climate change, the abrupt climate change, and the atmospheric rivers that gather up in the atmosphere now because of the warmer weather and warmer air and the way the jet stream goes, and so this is not being reported on. So this caught my eye, and I just wanted to report on it tonight. And we're going to look at this, and then we're going to look at earthquakes. Although the chances of such a disastrous storm are considered extremely unlikely, the magnitude of flooding in the federal warning is far greater than anything ever experienced. Well, we're experiencing flooding greater than it's ever experienced because the earth is hotter than it's ever been in a long time, since humans have been here. And I mean, we're in the sixth mass extinction, and so this is pertinent. National dam safety experts say the Federal Energy Regulatory Commissions, and they call them FERC after that, concerns could have costly repercussions for California. The public agencies that store water in Lake Oroville may be forced to spend millions of dollars upgrading the dam. So it's not just the spillway, it's the dam too. State dam operators at the Department of Water Resources also could be forced to store less water in the lake to ensure there's more room to capture floodwaters. Lake Oroville, the state's second largest reservoir, is a key source of drinking and irrigation water for millions of Californians. The warning came late last month in a letter from FERC or FERC. It was sent just as $1.1 billion in repairs are wrapping up on the dam's two spillways following the February 2017 crisis at the dam that triggered the evacuation of 188,000 people. The FERC letter shows that the near catastrophe, I would say it was a catastrophe. Anyway, in 2017 has made the federal government less likely to trust the state's claims that the 50-year-old dam is as safe as it can possibly be, said J. David Rogers, a dam safety expert at Missouri University of Science and Technology. Given that track record, you've got to err on the side of what your safety culture is going to be. Are you going to be at the vanguard of safety? Rogers said. That's a big facility to play with. That's the highest dam in the United States. You have to be a little bit more conservative. In the 2017 crisis, a massive crater formed in the dam's main flood control spillway. To limit it from growing in size, DWR's dam operators let water flow over the adjacent emergency spillway for the first time since the dam was completed in 1968. Although the flows were relatively modest, the earthen hillside below the spillway started to wash away. Fearing the concrete spillway would crumble and release a well of water, officials ordered a frantic evacuation of 188,000 Sacramento Valley residents. In the 21 months since, construction crews have spent $1.1 billion on emergency repairs and rebuilding and upgrading the two battered structures. DWR officials have said they're confident the rebuilt spillways can handle this winter's rains. Well, we made it through the winter, but now we've got this snowpack because we got so much snow. The snow is 150% average for this time of year, and it's warming. It's starting to melt, and it's coming down, and there's going to be flooding. DWR officials said the work has left the spillway stronger than ever and capable of withstanding what the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers considers the worst storm that can be reasonably expected. Yeah, if the lake isn't full already, but it's already, I'll show you the numbers in a minute, it's already over 875 feet. And it tops out at 901. And it's at it's called Full Pool at 728. So it's at over 875. It hit 875 today. The newly built main spillway can easily do this without using the emergency spillway, DWR spokeswoman Erin Mellon said in an email. FERC, though, is warning about damage that could be expected from a probable maximum flood, a storm that would be magnitudes greater. You know, I'm wondering if they know something that they're not telling people. And, you know, they probably know about abrupt climate change and what to expect. So that's why they're saying this. It's like a soft disclosure, is my thought. In its letter to DWR last month, the federal agency said the hillside beneath the emergency spillway could face substantial erosion if such a storm ever hit, and told the state that the structure might need to be fortified. A more robust and resilient design of the emergency spillway may be required to prevent the possibility of moderate to severe damage to the emergency spillway structure for the expected full peak flow, the October 25th letter reads. DWR officials agreed that additional work might be needed down the line. The department is preparing a long-term needs assessment to study additional fortifications, including the type of work that would safeguard the dam and its spillways from a probable maximum flood. The assessment will be completed by 2020. Well, you know, so they're still assessing it. Regarding the spillways, actions may be needed to expand and bolster the emergency spillway, build an additional spillway, or some combination of other operational factors, Mellon said. The chances of such a megastorm are so remote that experts generally don't quote the statistical probability of such an occurrence, said John France, a Denver consultant who led the independent forensic panel that investigated last year's crisis. Is the theoretically greatest precipitation that could happen on the watershed upstream of the dam, France said. In such a storm, FERC said outflows would be so strong that significant portions of the natural hillside below the emergency spillway could wash away. However, the damage would be confined to the lower portion of the hill, hundreds of feet removed from the concrete lip of the spillway, France said. It could put a lot of debris into the river. It would not be a wall of water. Experts said the megastorm envisioned by FERC would be so immense it would almost certainly burst the levees downstream of the dam and cause massive flooding across the Sacramento Valley, even if the dam spillways escaped damage. Listen to this. Everything downstream would already be wiped out, said Joe Countryman, a member of the Central Valley Flood Protection Board and a former engineer with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. These flows that they're talking about are 5 to 7 times larger than the channel capacity downstream. Every major city is going to be underwater. You get that? Every major city is going to be underwater. So why bother worrying? Because the federal government wants to be sure that the dam could remain operational in the aftermath of such a flood. And other experts said it would be unwise not to plan for the worst. Our understanding of extreme events has evolved since the time the dam was designed and built. This is Rob Moss, an engineer and expert on engineering disasters at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, said in an email. So what was once thought a Godzilla event may be more likely than initially anticipated. He cited recent disasters, including Hurricane Katrina, as examples of why the federal government is conscious of planning for worst-case scenarios. Rogers said the watershed above Oroville makes it particularly dangerous. Very little rain that falls actually seeps into the ground. Instead, granite-lined canyons quickly channel massive amounts of rainfall into the lake behind Orville Dam in a process that Rogers describes as flashy. The water just shoots right off, Rogers said. It's a real flashy reservoir. It's probably the most flashy reservoir in the country of that size. The more uncertainty you have to keep more space in the lake for flood storage. Those concerns are not new. Some downstream communities have spent years unsuccessfully lobbying the state to reduce the amount of water stored during winter at Oroville to prevent flooding. Critics of the DWR also have long complained that state officials have been reluctant to spend the money to upgrade Oroville, and they say those decisions played a key role in the 2017 emergency. For instance, engineers had known for decades that if water ever spilled over Oroville's emergency spillway, it would cause serious erosion, possibly compromising the earthen structure that holds back the reservoir and threatening communities downstream. But California water districts, known as the state water contractors that helped pay for Oroville, resisted calls to armor the structure, which would have required construction outlays in the tens of millions of dollars. Critics say the FERC letter represents a victory after years of having their concerns brushed aside. The handwriting is on the wall that they're going to have to confront these issues, said Ron Stork of the Sacramento environmental group Friends of the River, which has criticized safety issues at Oroville. The contractors are either going to have to pay for a better dam or accept that the dam doesn't deliver them as much water. Jennifer Pierre, general manager of the state water contractors, didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Earlier this year, the independent forensic team, led by France, heavily criticized California officials, saying the state did a poor job of designing, building, and maintaining the structure and neglected safety while focusing on the water delivery needs of the water districts who keep water in Oroville. The forensic team described the festering problems at Oroville as a long-term systemic failure. In response, the state revamped its dam safety programs and ordered 93 dams it oversees to conduct thorough inspections and other ongoing safety upgrades. So that's the end of that article. So that's pretty shocking. And that was November 1st that this came out, right after they had completed the major part of the spillway. And they've been still finishing up stuff there all during the winter, and they were doing blasting, and that was causing earthquakes and different stuff. And so here we are, and they're totally silent. The official word is, oh, they're out there inspecting. But let's look at, first of all, here's Action News for the for Chico in that area. Current weather, it's 90 degrees in Chico. And Oroville is the same, basically the same weather as Chico. High Wednesday 89. The low is going to be 58. Abundant sunshine. Tomorrow it's going to be 89 again with a low of 57. Friday is going to be 84 high. Saturday it's going to be 82 high. Sunday 77. Monday 75. Sunshine, plenty of sunshine. We're going to have a few clouds mixed in, and it's going to be, that snow's going to be melting fast, extremely fast. Also, looking at Climate Reanalyzer, for that whole area in Northern California, it's in the brown areas, so it's warmer than it normally would be. But of course, nothing's normal, and when you look up here in the Arctic, you've got a line straight down the middle with brown and into the reddish zone to the west of the North Pole, and to the east you've got blue. And then you've got brown again coming up, starting in Greenland and Svalbard and the whole thing. It's insane. It's schizophrenic. The weather is schizophrenic. It's split. It's got a split personality. And I'm about to get a split personality with all this crap. It's driving me up the wall. And over here, I'm recording this Oroville water output. I'm literally writing it down hour by hour. You can also get it on Excel spreadsheet. It might be a little easier to see on that. But at their latest reading, the reservoir, the lake level was at 875.48 feet. Here's the storage, aquatic feet. It's at 3,165,014 feet. The inflow for this last hour, for 6 o'clock, was 18,538 cubic feet per second. The outflow was 9,656, and that's not using the spillway. That's just from the power plant, the Hyatt power plant. And we can see that the inflow at certain times of the day, it got up to 23,313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313. 313 There's still, it's coming in, it's building. I don't know what they're doing, but it went up yesterday from midnight to midnight. It went up 1.03 feet yesterday. So far today, okay, right now it's at 875.48, and at midnight it was at 874.51. So it's gone up almost next reading it will have gone up a foot. So at the 7 o'clock reading it will have gone up a foot, and we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more readings after that. And they're not telling anybody anything. They're not saying anything, so I guess nobody's supposed to worry. Don't bother your pretty little head. Don't bother. Just leave it to all of us experts. In the meantime, look at this tremor map. Well, it's not in Oroville, but it's up here by Seattle and Vancouver. In the last 12 hours, we've had 7.4 hours of tremors. So that's over half. In the last 24 hours, we've had 12.1 hours of tremors. So let's get on with earthquakes now. We've got USGS pulled up here for all magnitudes for the last 24 hours. Showing 297 earthquakes worldwide. Of those, 33 are 2.5 magnitude or higher. So we're going to start with this 3.2 at Hawaii. Let's just go to all magnitudes since we're going to start with Hawaii. It's about to come off the map. Hawaiian ocean view, right here out in the middle of the ocean. This was a 3.2 that came in at 7:02 last night. Since then was a 1.9 on the side of Kilauea, a 1.9 at Leilani Estates, a 2.0 Leilani Estates, and a 2.5 at Mauna Loa. This one came in at 6:13 p.m. just now, and it's at a minus 1.4 kilometer depth. So that earthquake is up in the side of the volcano. It's up in the crater. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording. I've got to attend to something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, this next one, I think I reported on this last night. It was a 4.9 Cambrian, Papua New Guinea. Came in at 7:04 last night. These are all Pacific time. It's on land. 61 kilometers deep. These are all Pacific time because that's my time zone. So that one is just turning yellow, just coming off the map. What else? Probable. 5.0 This one happened at 7:17 last night. This happened, I think, right after I finished my recording. .0 at Probable. Okay, so let's come on down here and look at Papua New Guinea. Here's one off the coast of 4.9 near Itapi at 9:36 this morning. Here's a 5.1 near Dofa, Indonesia, 11:42 this morning. Okay, here's these at Probable. We've got 3 here. We've got 2 on the land, it looks like. Here's that 5.0 that came in at 9:17 last night, 108 kilometers deep. And a 4.9, same place at 8:28 last night, 109 kilometers deep. And then here's one in the ocean just to the north of it, 4.7, that just came in at 6:34 tonight, 37 kilometers deep. Then up here is one off the coast of Philippines, 4.9 near Santa Maria at 8:43 last night, 58 kilometers deep. So that's all they're showing at the Philippines after those big ones that they had 2 days in a row. Then down here in the Fiji area, 4.9 near Nadoy Island at 4:18 this afternoon, very deep, 457 kilometers deep. So the deep ones will cause the tectonic plates to move across the planet. Coming around this ring of fire, 4.9 near Iwo Jima, Japan at 4:27 this afternoon. Then here are 2 off the coast of Kamchatka, 4.5 at 9:44 last night, and a 4.6 at 9:02 last night. And then let's check out these on the land. Here's one in China, 4.5 near 3 kilometers west of Jinqing, China at 8:55 this morning. And then here's one on the Tibetan Plateau, a 4.5 western Zhejiang at 4:56 this morning. And then down here in Africa was a 4.6 near Kaputa, Zambia at 3:05 this morning. We don't normally see them over there. Then coming on down, here's one near the south, near Antarctica, 5.0 again at Bristol Island, South Sandwich Islands at 9:41 last night. Not too far from that tip of the western peninsula of Antarctica. Then a 5.4 near Calama, Chile at 11:57 this morning, 149 kilometers deep. And then there was one next to that at 4.8 near Tocopilla, Chile at 11:24 last night. Those are our international quakes. Now let's go to all magnitudes, and we're going to look at Dominican Republic, and we're showing 6 here today. 3.3, 1.5, 2.5, 2.0, and 1.7. So those are not big enough to do damage, but it's showing movement, showing definite movement. Now coming up to Alaska, we're showing 97 on the map here today. And they average between 50 and 100 a day. So that's their normal number, I guess, if you want to call it normal. Let's see what's 2.5 magnitude and higher. Here's a 2.5 False Point, 2.6 Kodiak, 2.7 Koktovik, and we've got 2 at Kobuk, a 3.4 and a 2.8. Now, let's move on in with all magnitudes here. Here's a 1.9 near Akutan. We saw those. Here's one down here by itself, a 1.9 Holy Cross. And Kobuk has 46 here today. A lot of them are at 0 kilometer depth, so they're right at the surface, and that is a mining area. And so let's look up here at the northern end. So we've got a few more up here near Koktovik as well. Now they're peppered coming down through the state. As you can see, here's just a line coming right down, centering down here, and they kind of end in this Anchorage area. Then we have some that follow this mountain range, this Alaska mountain range here, and there's 33 right there today. So those are all under 2.5 magnitude. Those are mainly in the ones range. So that's what's happening there. Now let's come on down to the lower 48, and we're going to start with this mine collapse, this 2.5 magnitude earthquake that happened as a result of a mine collapse near Rock Creek, Alabama. It happened at 12:36 this morning at surface level, 0 kilometer depth. So this is, remember last week I reported on the mine collapse near Libby, Montana? It's the same thing, and it's the same magnitude, and it's listed just as a mine collapse. So did the earthquake, what came first, the earthquake or the mine collapse? Who knows? Did the collapse cause the earthquake? I don't know. But we're going to be seeing more and more of these because everything's shifting and the ground is heating up. It's heating up from the inside out. That's my theory. Next, right here in the New Madrid hazardous area, was a 3.7 near Dyersburg, Tennessee. This came in at 3:56 this morning. And now moving west, let's see what's up here in Utah. We've got a 1.8 at East Carbon City, Utah. That's it. Well, we got one on the border. I spoke too soon. Here's a 0.9 near Malad City, Idaho at 12:54 this afternoon. Now, Yellowstone is quiet. It's way too quiet. We should be seeing something up here So either it's not being reported or it's building. And I just showed you all those tremors up here in the Seattle area and then on the Vancouver Island, and we're seeing earthquakes, and it's a little row here, 3 in a row here. So we're going to start with this explosion, 1.2 magnitude explosion near Leavenworth, Washington at 1:32 this afternoon. And then here's a 1.1 at Friday Harbor at 1:16 this afternoon. Here's a 1.8 near Burley, 1 kilometer away. I'd say it's at Burley at 3:38 this afternoon. And look, there's Mount St. Helens. Here's a 0.4. They're calling it at Morton. It's just directly to the northeast of Mount St. Helens at 12:25 this afternoon. Uh-oh. Look at this. Okay, right here, where the San Andreas fault line comes up and meets with the Juan de Fuca plate in this Cascadia subduction zone, there are 3 right here. 2.8 at 9:47 this morning, 2.0 at 10:09 this morning, and a 2.6 at 1:49 this afternoon. So that's showing plate movement. So things are moving. Things are happening. 2.0 at Hayfork at 10:15 last night. Here's one up. Where is this? Mount Shasta. Okay, it's to the east of Mount Shasta. 0.4 Tenet, California at 11:32 last night. And so, just to refresh everybody's memories about where this Oroville Dam is, here's Chico, here's Paradise, the town that burned up, here's Oroville. This whole lake area is the Oroville Lake Reservoir. All of this, the Feather River comes down and feeds into that. Here's the dam that we're talking about, and it's got the main spillway and the emergency spillway, and that's what that article was talking about, and saying if they had a mega flood event, that all the levees would fail all the way down through here, and everything would be flooded, literally everything. And it goes straight down to Sacramento. It goes straight down here, and that's a major hub. And that would be, so there you have it. And in California has this whole system of dams, and it's like 97 dams that were built to control the water supply throughout the state. They thought it was a good idea, and so that's what they did. Okay, coming into Nevada, we've got one here at Pyramid Lake, a 0.6 at 10:09 last night, and then here 1.2 near Fernley. That's actually up in the mountains at 3:37 this morning. And here's a 1.6 explosion near Lovelock at 10 o'clock this morning, 13 kilometers deep. So they're blowing stuff up underneath. That's probably a mining operation. Blowing open a tunnel. That's crazy. They need to leave everything alone. They need to just leave it alone and let things be, and just leave the earth alone for a while. We've got 3 here at four at Hawthorne, including an explosion, a 1.2. Oh, I just showed that. Okay, so that was at Hawthorne? No, that was a different one. Oh, okay, I got lost. Yeah, okay, that one's up by Lovelock. I thought it's like another explosion. Are you kidding me? So here's a 1.2 explosion near Hawthorne at surface level. And then coming on down into southern Nevada, we're seeing all of these. Here's another explosion, a 1.3 near Enterprise at 2:35 at surface level. This was this afternoon, 2:35 p.m. There are, what, 30? Are you kidding me? 30 earthquakes on the map here? They must have had a cluster here. Look at this, 25. We've got a cluster here and a cluster here, and they're calling them all at Beatty. And these are all small, like microquakes. Bunch of minus 0.4, and then here's a 0.6. They're all under 1s. Ooh, they must be doing something at Area 51 and the Nevada test site. That's where this is. They must be doing something secret. Yepers. I'd say they're doing some secret stuff. Alrighty then. Moving on. Let's come down this east side of California. We've got here at Mammoth Lakes, 11 here today, and Long Valley, 2.1. That's the biggest one. The rest are under that. Let's see if they're 2.5 magnitude and higher. That's at San Juan Bautista. Okay. So 11 here at Mammoth Lakes and Round Valley. They're small, 1s and under. Here's 1.7 Lone Pine, 0.8 Big Pine, 0.7 Goldfield, etc., etc. Here we are at Little Lake and Coso Junction. We've got 5 there. They're kind of like stacked up. 4 of them are all stacked up there today. Here's a 2.2 at Ludlow. Baja's clear. Coming into Southern California now. We're seeing 49 on the map today. There's a 1.1 at Big Bear that just came in. So 49. There's a 1.5, and so on and so forth. And let's come on up the San Andreas fault line. Here's a 0.8 Kalami, 1.9 Kettleman City, 1.4 San Ardo. Wow, this is really picking up. Look at all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right there. This is picking up. 1.7, 1.8, 2.4, 0.9, 0.9, 0.9, 2.6, and 1.2. All in that area. Right on that San Andreas fault line. I just have a feeling, I just have a bit feeling, big things are about to shake loose. 1.2 Boulder Creek, 2.2 Alum Rock, just to the east of San Jose. Here's a 1.2 magnitude quarry blast, Half Moon Bay. Here's a 1.4 Dublin. And what the geysers has 38 today. And these are ones and under. So there's that. See if I missed anything up here. I don't think so. Okay, what's this? 4.7 Probable, Indonesia. This came in at 6:34. Did I show that? I don't think so. And this 4.9 was on land. That could have caused damage, except it was 109 kilometers deep. So they probably felt it, but it probably didn't cause any damage. Here's a 2.7 Koktovic. So let's look at 2.5 magnitude. Okay. Got that. I think that's a wrap. So I'm going to sign off. And I recommend, if people have not checked out my Subscribe Star page, there are instructions in the description below on how to go over there. And if you would like to help contribute to the cause, I post over there every day. There are private posts and public posts, and I do news items, and I do videos, and all kinds of things. And for $5 a month, you could become a subscriber and support my work over there. And it's a way for us to kind of keep together and have a place to go without the censorship that is happening, and the greater censorship that is coming in the very short days and weeks to come. So, and I do recommend that if you haven't gotten your spiritual house in order, and you've been thinking about it, or even if you haven't been thinking about it, now would be a good time. So, until next time, God bless everyone. Oh, let's check in, see what Oroville's latest reading was before I sign off. See, this is what I do every hour. 875.51. So, it's gone up exactly a foot since midnight, because it was 874.51 at midnight. So there we go. This reminds me of a movie that I saw. It's called Long Hard Rain, and it's about a town where they're at the bottom of a dam, you know, and it starts raining and the dam breaks and the whole town gets flooded, and you know, a whole bunch of people die and everything. But it's got Morgan Freeman in it, and he kind of plays a bad guy for a change. Normally you see him as a good guy, but it was on the internet. I mean, it was on YouTube. I watched the whole thing, and this is just reminding me of that. So anyway, until next time, God bless. I'll talk to you soon. Good night.